Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This evening's topic, this is part two to the men's guide to dating. Now, if you've seen the first video, you must understand that I am promoting that men have standards. Now, all these rules of dating that I am presenting to you on my channel, I wrote myself. And there are a number of rules. In fact, it used to be called the 52 rules of dating. I've since then added two more rules. So now it is up to 54. Now, granted, I came up with the rules for all different scenarios, and I put some thought behind them to find out where we as men have commonalities when it comes to standards and how to vet women for dating. Because, to be honest with you, most dating is a waste of time. Let's be clear about it. Men are still, in a woman's eyes, supposed to be entertaining them. A number of women are very narcissistic. They're petulant children. They're selfish. And all they can bring to the table is their pussy. Well, you can get pussy anywhere. Because all pussy is not good pussy, regardless of what a woman says. And you have some women out there who don't intend on giving you anything, but they're going to tell you how good their pussy is to try to nudge you to give them their way. Again, the princess syndrome, television, the government, it's all diluted a number of women's minds. That's why women today, and I'm generalizing because a generalization is generally true, ladies. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. But let me put this caveat out there to you ladies. If you watch this video and you tell me not all women are like that, well, the one who opens their mouths, you're the one I am talking about. And truth be told, if you thumb the video down, this truth that I'm sending you, you can't handle it. You can't deal with the criticism. You can't deal with being corrected. So, I'm doing this series to help men vet women so men won't be frustrated. Because I did say this and I will say it again. Although unrealistic and in fantasy land, when it comes to standards, women have standards. Again, even if the standards are outrageous because a number of women can't meet their own standards. So, men, what I'm doing for you is giving you these guidelines that you need. Now, you don't have to use every rule, but you need to take a number of these rules and put them into your everyday life when it comes to meeting women. Why? Because we value women too much, but they don't value us. And it's time for us to get a set of balls and stop being eunuchs, simps, white knights, and manginas. The object of dating is for you and that woman to get to know each other. But it's not our job as a man to fix women. It's not our job to make them happy. We are not counselors. It's not our job to entertain women. It is our job to be ourselves at all times. Do not let a woman discredit you and or disrespect you for having a point of view as a man. This is what creates the simps in our culture. This is what creates the gynocracy because too many men are trying to appease women. With all that said, I'm going to get into the rules. Rule number 19. As a man, you should know what you want and who you are. Because remember something, a relationship is a two-way street. The relationship is not about you, it's a we thing. Again, relationship is not about you, it's not even about her. It's a we thing. If you don't use the word we, then you don't have a relationship. You can't have a relationship with one person. That's why relationships are hell-bent on give and take. Number 20, this comes down to dating sites. And shout out to brother Black Ram 313. He actually did a video on dating sites. And I have my preconceived notions about dating sites because I've met women on dating sites. Well, when you're meeting a woman on dating sites, make sure that she has decent pictures on a dating site. What I'm talking about is see if her pictures are cropped, she's got group pictures, see if she's got kids in her picture, see what types of poses that she is showing you in the picture. If they're pictures of her looking slutty, she's on the dance floor shaking that ass, you don't want her. Why? Because that's who she really is. Pictures can be 1,000 words because what you're looking for in a woman is behavior. Certainly, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Men, we have different beauty standards when it comes to women, but at the end of the day, what you are looking for as a man is a woman to compliment you. Rule number 21, when it comes to technology. If a woman can't talk to you on a telephone and she has to go through texting, don't talk with her because she's going to constantly text you because she's not interested in talking to you because she's probably talking to other folks, which is okay. But also, if you have a discussion about a topic and she doesn't agree with it, she doesn't want to discuss it with you. She's hiding behind the keyboard. And this is what a number of women do. It's just like going back to the profiles. Listen, if you believe that there is something in a woman's profile as well, and it doesn't meet your standards, go to the next profile. Women hide behind profiles. They hide behind the keyboard because it's an escape route for their bullshit behavior. Now, going back to the texting. Having a phone conversation is very important because it's personable. You want to get an idea from the inflection of her voice if you're pushing her buttons, and she's going to do the same thing for you. Also, on these dating sites, you have to be aware that a number of women are looking for the attention. They're not looking to have anybody in their lives, especially these women who are, in my humble opinion, undesirable women. They get validated because you have a lot of thirsty men out there who are telling them that they are beautiful, and now their ego is boosted. And now they think that they can have any man they want, although they can't because the internet dating, particularly Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and there are a few other ones out there. Those are the free sites. But you have pay sites as well. There's nothing wrong with internet dating or online dating, but you must beware of what you're reading and the action that the woman is utilizing when she is looking for a date or playing games, because a number of them do play games. Number 22. Since women think in general, because of the feminist nonsense and the television and the academia that they've been fed, that they are equal to us as men, treat them as equals. It's not our job to protect them because they're supposed to be adults who are strong and independent. They don't need a man, right? We'll let them take that ass whooping. They don't need a man. Let something happen to them. It's not your job to make a woman happy. It's not your job to counsel them. You need to look out for yourself and be selfish about what you're looking for. Period. Do not let her shame you. And if she tries to shame you, let her keep talking, because that's what most of them do anyway. They blow a lot of hot air. They have no actions behind what they say. A number of them have a histrionic personality disorder, and they're very narcissistic because they're petulant children. Number 23. Men, don't be the only one who is calling or texting. If she doesn't return your calls at a reasonable time, I say within 3 days, that means she's not emotionally available. Also, if she has work, family, and friends issues, and she has other issues that are problematic and they're not pertaining to you, basically, she hasn't gotten herself straight, and or she really isn't interested in you. She's just interested in the attention that she gets from other men when they talk to her, because she's spitting the same game to these other men that she's spitting to you. You have to realize that, guys. And again, the truth hurts, but it must be stated, because women have been living in lies ever since the inception of the feminist movement. This is why they're more disappointed now than they've ever been. And they're going to continue to be disappointed, because you can't run from the truth. It's easy to hide under a lie, but at the end of the day, the truth is always going to surface. Now, if you are a dating site, that's what I'm trying to bring to you right now. Let me say it again. If you are on a dating site or a dating profile, and she reads something in your profile that she doesn't agree with, and she writes something with hostility, because men, you must understand, when you see a profile that's written in all capital letters, that means that person is yelling. Well, if you see any of that, or she tries to shame you in your profile, she tries to change your preference and to confirm with her, don't talk with her, because you will be disappointed. She is looking for a man that she can control. Strong men don't allow women to control them. I don't care what the feminists tell these women. You as a man, never be ashamed of being a man. You know, you might not like Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is a man. And that's why women didn't want him in there. Because locker room talk, we have locker room talk, women have locker room talk. In fact, it's funny how women can have the same behaviors we do, but don't get called out for it. Dating is full of a lot of double standards. This is why I'm trying to give you this ism, so you understand that men, it does not hurt you to have standards. Now, number 25. If you aren't a smoker, don't date a smoker. Also, don't talk to someone who drinks, takes drugs, and has numerous relationship problems, emotional and psychological disorders, along with health problems. Why? Because these are the individuals who have not gotten themselves together. They're not mature. And you see a lot of that when it comes to these older women. A number of older women date as if they were in high school, but they have nothing to bring to the table but their raggedy pussy. That they've been screwed many times, they made poor decisions, and now that they've hit the wall, they believe that it's time for them to have a man. Chick, you 20 years too late. You're not going to get a man. You'll be lucky if somebody even looks at you. Now, this is not all older women. These are older women that have done what they're supposed to do. And I'm talking about the not all older women, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones who constantly tell me how religious they are, and Christian women are very dangerous women. Well, they think going to church is going to rehabilitate them. It's not. Church is a bunch of bullshit. It's filled with misquotes of the scripture just to confide to the feminist ideology and to make women feel good, because who are the customers in church? It's women. So, also, number 26, ask a woman where she ranks as a child. Examples: were you the oldest, the middle child, or the youngest child? Why do I say this? Because usually another toxic woman is the woman who's been the only child. Why? Because she didn't have to compete with other siblings, and she has been spoiled for the most part. Now, again, there are exceptions to the rule, but what I've experienced and seen, women who come from a home that they've been the only child, they have been spoiled. And you can see it because when you talk to them, they have the princess syndrome. Now again, this is a generality, but generalizations are generally true. There are exceptions to the rule. So don't date somebody who's been the only child. Now, if they've been the oldest one was the experimental child. The oldest one is supposed to set the example. Now, the middle child is one that takes it from both ways, because it's easy for the oldest child to blame the middle child and the youngest child to blame the middle child. This is where there are always children who have a lot of wishy-washy ways. They don't think. Why? Because they've been getting hit by the oldest child and the younger child. But the middle child can deal with a lot more than the younger child and the older child as well, because again, everything that the middle child takes comes from the older child and the younger child. Again, the older child is what I call the guinea pig, because that's the firstborn. They're used as an example for the rest of the children. If you've been the oldest child, you should set the example. Be a leader. But for the most part, ask her where she ranked as a child. She doesn't have to tell you. The actions will tell you. All right. Number 27. Ask a woman if she's been raped, molested, or if she has experienced lesbianism. Well, there are a number of women who have had experiences with lesbianism. They're not going to tell you, but they have. Why? Because we live in a society to where homosexuality has basically gone from being a sexual deviant disorder to normalized like heterosexual behavior. That is far from the truth. Also, being raped and molested. Well, when a woman has been in that predicament, you can tell right there, she's had problems with men, and she'll continue to have problems with men because she hasn't taken care of the situation through support programs and counseling. And she's always going to blame men for what has happened to her by the men in her family or previous relationships. That's toxic. So don't date anybody who's been molested, raped, or experienced lesbianism. Why? Because they may go back to experiencing lesbianism again. When it comes to rape and molestation, they're still holding that. And of course, it's a horrible crime. But if you're looking for a relationship, even when you've gone through that type of trauma, you bring that trauma into your relationship and you make it very hard to deal with you because you're blaming men for what other men have done to you. Number 28, make sure that a woman, if you're looking for a relationship, make sure she's divorced or separated. If you need proof, ask her for a copy of the divorce papers. If she has a problem with that issue, then she gets upset. Chances are then she's still married. Just because you're separated means you are still married. No ifs, ands, or buts. There is no such thing as a legal separation. And women, if we're separated, they have an issue with us. It seems to me that these odd behaviors that women have, we're supposed to take, but they won't take them from us. The only reason for dating this type of person, if they're separated or even a single mom or a church-going woman, all these women who have these princess syndrome, the reason why you date them is to fuck them. That is their only purpose. They're not going to be able to do anything else for you if they're looking for marriage. Why? Because they're still married. It's usually that these types of women are very hypocritical as well, because they're going to swear up and down that them being separated is an excuse. And that real excuse is they don't want to pay for the marriage, or the divorce rather. They don't want to pay for the divorce. Well, to get free, if you want to get married, you get a divorce and you pay for it, even if he doesn't. Because when you're attached to somebody, and I'm going to use some religion, if I have sex with a separated woman, that woman is married, according to the Bible, I'm the one committing fornication. That's the truth, and that's in the Bible. For all you Christian women out there who try to tote around with that Bible. Also, 29, Don't go looking for relationships thinking that you're going to have sex with every woman. Why? Because there's a chance that you're going to deal with somebody who could have a disease. And if you do have sex with this woman, there's a chance that you will become a single father when you don't want to. A chance for unwanted pregnancy. Also, when it comes to your penis, guys, your dicks, be careful with who you stick it in. The system is against us. Number 30, don't make her a priority if she only makes you an option. Gentlemen, basically when it comes to ratio of women, it is on our side. However, you must know what type of relationship and woman that you are seeking. Number 31, if a woman complains that she can't find a good man, just simply let her know that there are good men out there. You don't want a good man, or you just have unrealistic expectations and standards. That's why you'll always be single and looking for something you don't want. You are dealing with a woman who is out there to waste your time by complaining, by trying to get you to sympathize with her situation. Don't do it. Keep it moving, because there are other women out there that you can have, and be confident about that. Remember, the relationship is not about you, it's not about her, it's about us. But when it comes to what you're looking for, it is about you. Make your choices wisely. Number 32, always be honest with yourself and know what type of relationship that you're seeking. Now, this is a repetitious rule, but I put that in there as a caveat because men don't know what type of relationship that they're seeking for most of the time. We think in the moment. There are times we want to fuck, and there are times we want a regular relationship. Guys, we got to get out of that thinking. If you want a decent relationship, you got to vet women, even if you have a chance of engaging in a sexual relationship. You got to vet her too, because remember, money, energy, emotions, and time. You don't want somebody that's going to waste your time. That's rule number 32. Now, rule number 33. When a woman comes into your life, you ask her, why are you interested in being with me? Or, as a man, when you continually wine and dine a woman, you have to ask her, do I have to purchase you to have you, or do you really want to be here? Men don't ask those questions because a number of us are really buying the pussy from the woman because dating is legal prostitution. This is why it is a waste of time. That's why I'm telling you guys, be cautious. Also, number 34, if a woman wants you to remember special days such as birthdays and holidays, you ask her to do the same thing for you. Men don't demand anything out of women because in their minds, they believe that if they do, that woman is not going to give them any pussy. That is far from the truth. Men, the numbers, the ratio is on your side. Utilize it to your advantage. What I'm trying to say is, when it comes to romance, a lot of these women talk about romance. They preach it day in and day out, but they don't follow their own principles. Romance is unexpected, mutual, spontaneous, and reciprocating. If she doesn't do any of that, don't engage with her because the relationship is going to go south. If you don't believe me, you look at some of these bitter men out here today. Now, some might think I'm a bitter man. No, I've just woken up, had my experiences, and I see women for who they really are. And that's not all women, but it's a number of today's women. Also, number 35, men, learn to be men. Stop trying to make her happy or appease her or please her. If she isn't happy prior to seeking a relationship, there's no way you can make her happy. Again, you don't need to waste time counseling her because it's not a man's job to rehabilitate her or counsel her into being what she has to be, and it's not your job to change a woman into being what you want her to be. That's wasting time. She needs to come to the table already stable. And if she isn't, don't deal with that woman, because she's going to be toxic, because she is carrying a lot of baggage, emotional baggage. You don't want that in a relationship, because you're not going to get a return on investment. And number two, you're wasting your time. And number three, you're going to be miserable. Number 36, if you find out via communication, via phone, texting, or how you're conversing with this woman, and her behavior is narcissistic, self-absorbed, when everything is about her, and she feels she doesn't have to reciprocate in a relationship, let her go immediately. Again, if you find out via conversation that she is self-absorbed, when she believes that everything is about her, and she believes that she doesn't have to reciprocate on dates, don't get involved with her. Why? Because you'll be miserable. She's already telling you that it's not her job to pay for dates, period. Now, number 37. You have a lot of this going on, women with grown children and grandkids living with them in the same house. Now, if she has grown children past the age of 23, grandkids and other family members living with her, don't get involved with her. You got too many roaches in the house. And when you have a bunch of people living together in the house, they're either poor or, number two, they haven't grown up. They don't have any ambition to get out on their own. Now, it is nothing wrong with being around family. What's wrong with being around family all the time is that family members get nosy. You can look at how these family members are living themselves and what type of family background she comes from. Look at the amount of people living in that house. And most of these women are codependent on each other, because it's mainly women who are living with the grown kids, grandkids, got their children living in the house with them, and she enables that behavior. Once she enables that behavior and you see it, that means she's very permissive. And when she's very permissive, she's very gullible, because she's influenced by television, media, feminists, and other bitter women, because she's got the family around her, so she doesn't have to find a man or look for a man. But yet still, she's putting profiles on dating sites that she is available. She is not available unless you're going to fuck her, because that is her only worth to you. Because she's not going to put you number one. And I see this with many women. They're living with grown kids, grandkids. They don't want to cut the apron strings either. Not your job, again, to waste your time convincing her that her children need to be on her own, because she's not going to listen to you. Because women live in denial. Period. Women have always been in denial and delusional. They always make themselves feel good by trying to shame you as a man. Don't deal with that nonsense, because they won't put up with it from you. Number 38. Well, I'll do 38 to 54 tomorrow. But I wanted to get this information out there to you guys, because this is part 2 of the Men's Guide to Dating series. It's very important that men have standards, because when you have standards, you're not bucking everything in sight. You're not knocking up a bunch of broads out here for your own benefit, and then later on you're going to pay down the road. Well, if you take the time to have standards, we can reduce the number of unwanted pregnancies. And of course, we can reduce the number of unwanted pregnancies by not giving them welfare. This is how women get their power, from the politicians who appease them, through the feminists, through academia, by telling them that they're princesses, queens, goddesses, and divas. If a woman calls herself that, you already know she's full of shit. She's an ain't shit bitch. And she's trying to convince herself. And when it comes to a number of women, many of them love to hear themselves talk, and they overpraise themselves. So if you understand that having standards is important, guys, it's going to be a lot easier for you to have strong relationships. Beauty is in the eyes of the behavior. The bottom line, what I'm trying to get you to do when you utilize my rules of dating is to have standards for women or woman that's going to fit you. Make sure that your standards are unrealistic. Now are realistic, not unrealistic. Make sure that your standards are realistic. Women have unrealistic standards. That's why you see a number of them single, because they've listened to all of the propaganda out here. But the bottom line, they've allowed that propaganda to go to their head, and once they're easily influenced, for the most part, we find out about that behavior of narcissism, the princess syndrome, we're not going to date them. We're not going to date them if they're single moms. We'll have sex with them, but that's all they're worth in those situations. And I'll get in later videos the 4 types of toxic women that you don't want to date. But when it comes to having standards, guys, have standards. And don't be shamed into not having standards. It is your best bet to have standards, because at the end of the day, a relationship is a give and take. And in order to be happy in a relationship, you have to have some rules and guidelines that won't allow you to make the decision by getting with a woman who is toxic. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Thursday, August 31st, 2017. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Also, the guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube, so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional, mature perspective. On my channel, I don't engage in debates, controversial issues, or emotion, nor do I participate in drama and or unnecessary bickering. It's counterproductive, waste of time. What I'm here to do is teach, give you this information that's realistic, and you can understand how the real world works, because knowledge is power. And if you have a business topic or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. If you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering. That's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed evening.